Welcome to the Global WarWatch Network.
Hello and welcome. Today we're looking at something really significant that just happened.
That's right.
China just put on this massive military parade, showcasing weapons, troops, their whole strategy, really, like never before. But the big question is, what message is Beijing actually sending to the rest of the world?
A crucial question.
So we're going to unpack the details of this parade. It marked the 80th anniversary of Japan's World War II surrender, but, this wasn't just about history.
No, not at all. It felt very modern, very forward-looking in its implications.
Exactly. It was a powerful display, and we need to look closely at what that means today.
Absolutely. This event, it happened September 3rd, 2025 in Beijing. And it's really a key moment for understanding where China's military is heading.
And their geopolitical messaging, too, right?
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's a chance to see what they want us to see,
Right.
and maybe what they want us to figure out between the lines.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. What actually happened in Beijing? In the days leading up to September 3rd and on the day itself, we heard about rehearsals, lots of security.
Yeah, the preparations were intense. It really gives you a sense of the scale. Things started ramping up quite early.
Like when?
Well, back on August 24th, there were military helicopters doing drills over the central business district. Very visible.
Okay.
Then, closer to the date, August 31st, they were setting things up right there in front of Tiananmen Gate, the actual parade spot.
And security must have been tight.
Extremely. The night before, September 2nd, going into the morning of the 3rd, they actually shut down the entire subway system along Chang'an Avenue. There's a huge main road there.
Wow, that's serious disruption. So the day itself, September 3rd, how did the main event play out? You mentioned Tiananmen Gate.
Yes, right in front of the gate. The whole thing lasted about 90 minutes.
And President Xi was there.
Oh, yes. Presiding over everything. He's chairman of the Central Military Commission, so that makes sense. It was also, interestingly, the first really big military parade they've held since 2019.
Right, the 70th anniversary of the PRC's founding. But this time, it wasn't exactly a public party, was it? How controlled was the access?
Very controlled. You couldn't just walk up and watch. Barriers kept the public at least a block away.
A full block.
Yeah, and all the commercial buildings along the route. They were emptied out, closed down for the duration.
So how did most people see it then?
On TV, basically. Or through a live stream online.
That control, the restricted access, what does that tell you?
Well, it's fascinating, isn't it? It suggests that, well, maybe part of the goal was boosting pride at home.
Sure, national pride.
Right, but the primary audience might have been more official.
Yeah.
Curated.
Yeah.
Both inside China and definitely looking outwards internationally.
So less a celebration, more a strategic communication.
Exactly. This wasn't spontaneous. It was a carefully managed message.
Okay, let's get into the hardware. This is often where people really focus. What new military gear did China roll out? Stuff we haven't seen before.
Right. This was definitely a highlight. They showed some significant new capabilities.
Such as?
Well, first off, these hypersonic anti-ship missiles, the YJ-17.
Hypersonic. That sounds serious. Designed for taking out ships.
Exactly. And hypersonic means not just incredibly fast, over 5 times the speed of sound, but also maneuverable at those speeds.
Which makes them hard to stop.
Extremely hard. Maybe impossible with current defenses. And that's obviously a major concern for navies operating in the region, particularly the U.S. Navy's 7th Fleet, based nearby in Japan.
Okay, so the YJ-17 is a big deal for naval power balance. What else? Anything for longer ranges?
Yes. They unveiled a new intercontinental ballistic missile, or ICBM, called the DF-61.
ICBM, so nuclear capable, long range.
Capable of carrying nuclear warheads to, quote, distant targets. It represents a pretty big jump in their long-range strike ability.
Which could shift the global nuclear picture.
Potentially, yes. It signals a more robust deterrent and greater reach.
I also heard something about underwater drones. That sounds very cutting edge.
It is. They showed off underwater drones, specifically one model called the AJX-002.
What did it look like?
It was described as this long, black, tube-shaped thing. Looked like a skinny submarine, basically, with a propeller at the back.
And what's the purpose? Spying?
Enhancing surveillance and reconnaissance underwater, definitely. But potentially offensive roles, too. It shows they're serious about the maritime domain, including what's happening beneath the surface.
So missiles, drones. Any other advanced stuff catch your eye?
Oh, plenty. There's a whole range of armored vehicles,
Wow.
other strategic weapons for land, sea, and air, lots of precision warfare gear, other types of drones, too.
And aircraft.
Yeah, warplanes and helicopters flying overhead in tight formations,
Yeah.
showing off their air power and coordination.
So if you connect the dots, The YJ-17, the DF-61, these underwater drones. It's not just incremental updates, is it?
No, not at all. These point to a significant leap in China's ability to project power across multiple domains.
And the concern from the U.S. Navy, it's not just about ships, it's about the whole strategic balance shifting.
Exactly. It raises big questions about how other countries need to adapt their own defense strategies. It forces a rethink.
Okay, so beyond the metal, beyond the hardware, China also made a point of highlighting some new units, specialized military forces. What does that tell us?
That's right. And this is really important. It shows they're not just focused on traditional kinetic warfare.
You mean like a cyber?
Precisely. They showcased a cyberspace unit, explicitly tasked with cybersecurity defense. And apparently, this unit has even been involved in live fire drills.
Live fire? For a cyber unit? That's interesting. It suggests integration.
It does. It means they're operational, not just theoretical. Then there was another new force mentioned.
The Information Support Force.
Correct. Established just last year, in 2024. Its job is building network information systems to support combat readiness.
So underpinning everything with information and network capability.
Exactly. It underlines this strategic shift towards modern warfare domains. Cyber and information are clearly central.
It feels like China is building a very comprehensive, multi-layered capability, not just tanks and planes.
Absolutely. And while lots of militaries are moving this way, China making such a public display of these specific units, that's a clear statement of intent, a signal of their priorities.
So let's talk geopolitics. The guest list for an event like this is always revealing, isn't it? Who actually showed up in Beijing to stand alongside President Xi?
Very revealing. It acts like a snapshot of current alliances and divisions.
So who was there? Who signaled solidarity?
There were about 24 foreign leaders, some very prominent names. Kim Jong-un from North Korea, he doesn't travel abroad often.
Right, that's significant.
Vladimir Putin from Russia was there. The president of Iran, too.
A clear alignment there.
And also several leaders from Southeast Asia, Africa, South Asia. Indonesia's President Prabowo Subianto, for instance, he arrived early.
Okay, so that's the in crowd. But perhaps even more telling is who wasn't there, who skipped it.
And that list is just as important. You saw a distinct lack of heads of state from the U.S. and Western Europe.
Oh, no surprise there, maybe.
Perhaps not. But also, leaders from key regional players like Japan, India, and South Korea were absent.
So it really does paint a picture of these geopolitical fault lines. Concerns about China's military rise are clearly a factor.
Definitely. The selective attendance acts almost like a barometer,
Yeah.
showing the current global tensions.
You have this block with Russia, North Korea, Iran.
Right. Reinforcing their connections. And then the absence of Western leaders and key Asian neighbors signals that discomfort, maybe even disapproval, of China's military trajectory.
It's a snapshot of a pretty divided world right now. Different views on global order, regional stability.
Exactly. It reflects those differing perspectives quite starkly.
So bringing it all together, what's the ultimate message here? What was China trying to achieve with this huge, elaborate display, both for its own people and for the world?
Well, let's break that down. Domestically, for their own population, it's largely about instilling pride.
Makes sense.
And, importantly, reassuring people that the country is strong enough to defend itself against any perceived threats, boosting national confidence.
Okay, so strength and reassurance at home. What about the message outwards to the international community?
Internationally, it's about projecting strength, yes, but also, I think, self-assurance, confidence.
Showing off their progress.
Showing off their developing military might, absolutely. Putting their evolving defense capabilities on full display, sending a signal that China sees itself as a major global player, and it has the power to back that up.
But that kind of message, that kind of power display, it inevitably causes ripples, right? Concerns.
Oh, absolutely. That growing strength definitely concerns its Asian neighbors, and the United States too, of course.
And the implications could be
significant. It could potentially alter regional power dynamics. It could lead to increased tensions, maybe even arms races, as other nations react.
So other countries will likely be reassessing their own defense plans.
They'd almost have to, wouldn't they? Reassessing strategies, alliances, capabilities in response to what they saw.
So this whole parade, it wasn't just a commemoration. It was a very deliberate piece of communication, signaling confidence, capability, ambition.
A carefully orchestrated message, yes. It forces everyone, really, to reevaluate the security landscape, especially in Asia, but globally too.
Which leads us to that final thought for you, our listener, to consider. In this time of escalating capabilities and shifting alliances, how will this specific display of power shape international relations? How will it influence security talks in the next, say, 5, 10 years?
It's a critical question. Something to keep in mind as we watch things unfold.
Okay.
How will this reshape the strategic environment we're all living in?
That was a really insightful look into the parade and its many layers. Thanks for walking us through that.
My pleasure. Hopefully this discussion gave you some new angles to consider. We're definitely interested in hearing your thoughts too. Please leave a comment below.
Yes, please do. And if you found this conversation valuable, we'd appreciate it if you'd like, share, and subscribe to Global WarWatch Network.
It helps us keep these discussions going.
You can also find us on social media. All the links for that are right there in the description.
Look forward to connecting.
Thank you all for your time and for tuning in. Until next time, stay curious.